This is Ma'am Liz, your resource person when it comes to education matters. And today, I will discuss authentic assessment. But let me first define the word assessment. Well, according to the Glossary of Education Reform, the term assessment refers to the wide variety of methods or tools that educators use to evaluate, measure, and document the academic readiness, learning progress, skill acquisition, or educational needs of students. Ibig sabihin, hindi pwedeng magturo ng walang assessment because it is an integral part of teaching and learning. There are two categories of assessment strategies that provide data to determine the learning milestones and learning outcomes of the student. Test assessment and authentic assessment. Between the two, I will discuss the latter. The authentic assessment aims to evaluate students' abilities in real-world context where they can learn how to apply their skills to authentic tasks and projects. It goes beyond learning and passive test-taking. Sa halip, mas focus ito sa higher-order thinking skills ng mga estudyante tulad ng analytical skills, ability to integrate what they learn, creativity, ability to work collaboratively, and written and oral expression skills. In simple terms, authentic assessment helps students to relate their learning content to meaningful situations that are relevant to students' lives. Pero ano ba itong meaningful situations? Well, these are the situations that are true to the personal experiences of the learners, the actual practices at work, and the actual practices in professional life. Here is a checklist to self-assess if the assignments or tasks set by you are authentic. Are my assessment tasks have one real-world relevance? Comprise of complex tasks to be investigated by my students over a period of time? Provide the opportunity for students to examine the task from different perspectives using a variety of resources? Provide the opportunity to collaborate? Provide the opportunity to reflect? Can be integrated and applied across different subject areas and extend beyond domain-specific outcomes? Are seamlessly integrated with situations that reflect real-world rather than artificial scenarios? Create polished products, valuable in their own right. Allow competing solutions and diversity of outcomes. Now, if your answer is yes to any of the list, then your assessment is authentic. To understand more, I will compare authentic assessment with typical test assessment. First, a typical test requires correct responses. An authentic task, on the other hand, requires a high-quality product or performance and a justification of the solutions to problems encountered. Second, a test must be unknown to the student in advance, to be valid, of course. Syempre, we do not disclose the answers nor give any clues, right? But an authentic task should be known in advance to students as much as possible. We even inform them as necessary the criteria or the rubrics so that they can also monitor their own performance and progress. With this, we can also say that a test is easily scored. Authentic tasks, which involve complex tasks which may have no correct answer, are not easily scored. There are various characteristics of authentic assessment. Some of them are the following. They are perceived by students as being authentic. Perceptions of authenticity are subjective, so students and teachers may have different perceptions of what constitute an authentic task. They are similar to the real work done in professional context and highlights situational and contextual knowledge, including the acquisition of relevant professional attitudes and competencies. They are performance-based and require students to demonstrate mastery of professional practices. So the closer the tasks are to real practice, the greater the degree of authenticity. reflect clear alignment between desired learning outcomes, curriculum content, and future career-based knowledge. Emphasize assessment for learning purposes rather than just for grading, and incorporate social, cognitive, and reflective processes of learning. Are fair and free from bias, so they do not advantage or disadvantage any groups of students. Are motivating, enjoyable, sustain interest, and are challenging but achievable. Are based on criteria that have been developed with or negotiated with students to ensure they understand the nature of the task and what constitutes quality in terms of the outcome. Achieve an appropriate balance between tasks that are too complex and too simple. Often incorporates self, peer, and client assessment in conjunction with academic teacher assessment. Ensure that students have opportunities to develop critical thinking and problem-solving skills needed in real-life situations, as well as the cognitive and performance skills relating to graduate attributes. Provide clear evidence that students have achieved the desired learning outcomes. Require timely feedback relating to criteria that students can act upon. Are quite often interdisciplinary because that reflects many real-world contexts. Authentic assessments have several advantages over conventional tests. They are likely to be more valid than conventional tests, particularly for learning outcomes that require HOTS or higher order thinking skills. Because they involve real-world tasks, they are also likely to be more interesting for students and thus more motivating. And finally, they can provide more specific and usable information about what students have succeeded in learning as well as what they have not learned yet. However, authentic assessments may require more time and effort on an instructor's part to develop and may be more difficult to grade. So to address the difficulty of grading authentic assessments, it is often useful to create a grading rubric that specifies the traits that will be evaluated and the criteria by which they will be judged. Okay, so that's it. I hope you learned something from this video. Till next time, see you. Bye.